Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. So as you can currently see on screen at the moment, we're on 265 subscribers, so thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. So if you are new here, feel free to subscribe down below by hitting the big red subscribe button, hit the bell notification as well, and let's move this channel upwards towards the big 300 mark. Also guys, if you are new here, feel free to join the Discord with the link in the description. It's great to see you guys physically getting involved in that, getting involved in the stock discussion, so if you are new here, feel free to join there as well. Now with that being said, let's actually get into the video. Today guys, we're going to be covering mining companies such as Argo blockchain, Riot blockchain and Marathon Digital Holdings and explaining why they've all slid down over the last week. Let's actually take a quick look at their percentage changes this week. Argo blockchain have lost 26% and are now trading at £1.65 a share. Marathon Digital Holdings have lost 15% and are now trading at $42 a share. And Riot blockchain has lost 2.9% and is now trading at $48 a share. But there's actually been no disastrous news for these companies over the last week. Actually, for all three companies, they've actually reported some good news over the last week and a bit. First of all, Argo reported its best RNS to date just at the start of this month. And they actually referred to this year being an absolute record in terms of their Q1 performance. We can actually see inside of their RNS, they actually managed to mine 165 Bitcoin in March alone. If you compare this to February, where they actually mined 129 Bitcoin. March was actually a record month for Argo, and in Q1 they mined 387 Bitcoin, resulting in the company having 764 Bitcoin in total. The Bitcoin count purely goes to show that Argo is moving in the right direction. Peter Wall, their CEO, actually says that he's extremely happy with how Argo is performing and that he's happy to announce that they recorded record-breaking months in Q1. Now if we look at Marathon Digital Holdings, we can see that they released some positive news in regards to their mining results as well. Mara released at the start of the month that they mined 102 Bitcoins in March. And also that they mined a total of 196 Bitcoin in Q1, and this now means that they have 5,134 Bitcoin in total. Also as well, we can see that they received a host of 10,300 miners in Q1 too. And again, like Argo, we can physically see that this is positive news towards the business's progression. Now finally, if we look at Riot, we can physically see that they produced great news for investors in the company as well. Riot recently purchased some land in Texas, similar to that of Argo, which is obviously going to impact the production of Bitcoin output massively. They also stated that they'll have 81,150 Antminers up and running soon as well. And to top off all the good news that we've had on these companies, the best possible news they probably could have received is that Bitcoin hit all-time highs this week, topping just under 65k. So the big question that really needs to be answered, why if Bitcoin is hitting all-time highs? Why, if all the good news is coming out in regards to these three companies, are we still yet seeing a decline in price across the board? So first of all, we actually have to consider Coinbase. So obviously Coinbase began trading on the 14th of this month. And since then, I think some people have physically moved away from Bitcoin mining companies and jumped into the crypto-based stock Coinbase. Kathy Woods, who you may or may not be familiar with, is a really highly regarded stock analyst. And she bought 750,000 shares via ARK Invest of actual Coinbase stock. To be honest guys, it actually does kind of make a bit of sense to why people would divert from Bitcoin and mining companies into Coinbase. And the reason for this is really because if you buy into a Bitcoin mining company such as Argo blockchain, you buy mostly faith in regards to Bitcoin increasing in value. Obviously, it does really depend on what most of these Bitcoin mining companies do mine. But for the most part, they do all typically tend to just mine Bitcoin. Whereas if you actually jump into something such as Coinbase, you're diversifying yourself because you're buying into different types of cryptos as well. Therefore, you're not just physically buying and putting all your eggs in one basket. Obviously, this does still make you a bit of a subject to Bitcoin's price movement, but also to other cryptos as well. Now, just because there is a bit of truth behind that does not mean that any mining company is considered to be invaluable, and it is all down to one particular reason why they can maintain their value during this time. And that particular reason is because all three companies have an extreme willingness to continue to grow to match Bitcoin's future price. And that there is actually something that Coinbase themselves can never physically take away from any Bitcoin mining company. As the Bitcoin they mine becomes more valuable, as Bitcoin's price increases, the company's profits and revenue will continue to soar as a result of that as well. Therefore, continuing to mine Bitcoin and develop your company to match Bitcoin's future price will always make these companies valuable. A second reason to why we're seeing a decline is that people are currently taking taking profits. The 3 price increases all 3 of these companies have seen over the last year has been absolutely incredible. Riot has physically increased by 2000%, Argo has increased by 4000%, and Mara has increased by 900%. The real exposure to Bitcoin really began in January of this year, which actually resulted in a lot more people getting involved in Bitcoin mining companies. But you also have to bear in mind that there was a large group of people that physically got involved in Bitcoin mining companies and Bitcoin as a whole before the majority of us. And with the huge price increases that we have seen over the last year in regards to these companies, they're probably asking themselves throughout the whole duration is how far can this go? And now that they've seen the drops physically happening over the last week or so and Coinbase having a direct impact on these Bitcoin mining companies, they're probably selling some of their shares and taking some of their profits. In fact, the people that are physically selling their shares at the moment probably have bigger positions than the majority of us. And the reason for this is because they probably have known about the stock a lot longer than most of us have. Effectively, guys, the longer that you know about a stock, the chance of you depositing more money into it over time is much more probable than if you just know about it for a short period of time. And that is because most people tend to dollar cost average into stocks. So effectively, people do about 200, 300, 400, 500 pound a month, whatever their budget is. And the longer that they know about a stock for, the longer the months could possibly be that they could deposit money into it. This actually leads me in very nicely to my final point of the video. And the third reason is that some people will have physically bought at the top and done very, very little research into the company. They've probably just looked at the percentage gains, seen massive gains, and got a fear of missing out on the stocks. And also the chances of a lot more people getting involved in these stocks has obviously been increased because of Bitcoin hitting new highs. Therefore, these people do tend to be people that have a quick buck mentality. Typically, they tend to get too emotionally invested in their stocks when stocks that they buy because of their quick buck mentality don't perform to their quick money making expectations. And therefore, they do the absolute holy grail of the worst possible thing you can do in a scenario like this, and that is panic sell. When in actual fact, guys, if people did a bit of research, they would understand now what I also understand. And that is that these stocks are months and years returners rather than days and hours performers. But of course, guys, as always, I'm not a financial advisor. Always, and I repeat, always do your own research when it comes to stocks and buying decisions. I mean, look at me. Do you think I'm anything of a financial advisor? I'm sitting in my bloody room wearing a Stock Talk hoodie doing a YouTube video for you guys based on research I've done. Now, obviously, I do think there could be other reasons to why these stocks haven't been performing, but these are the 3 that I find to be of the most truth. I personally will continue to hold all my stocks, and to be honest, guys, I don't even care what I could say on the screen. I am thinking of the bigger picture, and I also believe that in good time I'll be glad that I held on throughout this. Anyway, guys, that is actually going to be it for this video here. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, feel free to subscribe down below. Like I say, we're pushing on to the big 300 mark, and also can we get 15 likes on this video? Anyway, guys, with that being said, I will see you in the next one.